Good evening and welcome to the 888 Poker Nations Cup, where 6 teams are chipping and scrapping for a first prize of $100,000. I'm Jesse May, and with me tonight in the commentary box, a poker legend and Englishman, Barney Boatman.
Hi, Jesse.
It's going to be fun, but before we begin, let's remind ourselves how this tournament works, what the format's about. The teams play 6 heats with 1 member of each team competing in each. Players score points for their team depending on their finishing position. 10 points for the heat winner, down to 1 point for the first player eliminated. At the end of the 6 heats, the total points accumulated by each team will determine how many chips that team begins the final with. The final is a tag game where the team captains will substitute players as the game progresses. Now the winners of the final take home $100,000 and the trophy. And this is the situation so far. Ireland catapulting to the lead with 22 points. Denmark not that far behind with 18. Sweden, the USA, Germany, they're all in there, but Great Britain only 6 points so far. Well, that's how the points have accumulated. Let's have a look at the 6-team lineups. Ireland, 22 points, relying on a great start by their online qualifier, and the world champion Noel Furlong hasn't even played yet.
That's right, Jesse. They've also still got Don Fagan, a very underestimated player, and Rory Liffey, who can really perform on his day.
We thought the Danish team looked deep at the start, and deep they still are.
There's not a weak link in the Danish side. We've still got Captain Wendt to play, Jan Sørensen, one of the most talented all-round poker players in the world, as well as Rene Peterson, who won the big one in Bellagio last year.
USA, they can consider themselves a bit unlucky with the knockouts, but with 15 points and the captain, Robert Williamson, haven't played yet, they're well in this.
Of course they are. Robert Williamson, Cloney Gowan, Kathy Liebert, all huge names in the game, and they'll be there at the death, Jesse.
Some big surprises from Sweden. I think they had hoped for more from their first 3.
Yes, but they've got Ken Leonard, one of the most experienced players in this format, very strong. Bengt Sonnet, one of the huge names in the game, and Alangsak, he's going to be a bit of a surprise package, I think.
And Germany, of course, the last heat, they really came into this game, and captain hasn't yet played yet, and Michael Kiner.
That's right. These Germans, as I said before, you can never count them out. They're so competitive, and they've got a fantastic team spirit, and Michael Kiner's playing a good captain's role, and I think with Andreas Krauser still to come, they're going to be in it too, Jesse.
What's gone wrong with GB so far, Barney? Are they out of this?
I wouldn't say they're out of it. It's difficult for them now. I mean, Dave Ulliott and Tony Bloom were both very unfortunate in their heats, but they've got 3 strong and fearless players. And the thing is now to steady the ship, put in somebody like Joe Beavers, who's never going to go out early.
On to Queen 4. Let's find out who the captains have selected for tonight's heat.
For Team USA today, I decided that I had to play. Because we're down, we're in 3rd place, we need to make a strong comeback, and now, no pressure, it's up to me. So here I go, and I've got a tough lineup to play against.
I feel very strong today. I woke up, I went to the gym, and I played some chess on the internet to see if my mind was sharp today, and it was. And that's why I'm playing today for the Swedish team.
Julian Gardner is the next guy for the Great Britain team this evening, and he's a great player. And I think he's going to do really good. He's got himself a nice heat here, and I'm really expecting good things for Great Britain.
I've selected Rory Liffey to play for Ireland today. He's a dependable, experienced, and a very good player. We're expecting big things.
I picked Roland from Germany today because he's a very cool player, very scientific, and I think he can make it.
This heat I put Rene Peterson in for Denmark. He's a really solid player, and this is a very strong table, so I think he had really good chances here.
Under the watchful eye of Thomas Kremser from the International Poker Federation and the steady hands dealing of Marina Kremser and Stevie. Off and running for heat number 4 of this 888 Poker Nations Cup. And Barney, On paper, I don't know how tough this heat is, but it's certainly going to be chatty.
It sure is, with Ken Leonard, Rory Liffey and Robert Williamson. We're going to have an easy job today, Jesse.
That's the Octo Crown.
Robert Williamson also does some poker commentary over in the USA, and looks like he's decided to do it tonight.
150.
Rene Pedersen
Pass.
coming in with a genuine hand, Jesse.
Button raise with the pocket sevens.
Call.
Look at that, Ken Leonard setting a trap right from the off, just calling with the aces.
He is so sneaky, this Swedish captain. And is he going to get Pedersen on the hook?
Pedersen must bet this one time. You have to represent a king high flop when you're the raiser.
Call.
Wow. I'll tell you, if a 7 pops, it'll be really ugly for Ken.
Otherwise, I expect Pedersen to switch off here. He's too good to fire at it twice. Ken's hoping that Pedersen's got a king. Well, he has taken the bait.
Is Ken Leonard starting to worry that he might have got himself into something he didn't want to be in?
No, I think he still likes the situation he's in. He's certainly not putting it down.
Raise to 1,800.
Well, that'll be the end of this one, Jesse. Ken played it perfectly to get the maximum. Once the flop came down, Pedersen fired at it twice.
That was great. The Swedish captain plays an edgy game, but that's how he gets the chips. And Barney, what could have been a very small pot has turned Ken Leonard into a good-sized chip leader.
The team spirit is very high, even though we haven't had the results we expected when we came here. But we still feel very confident, and we feel that we will win in the end. And if you look at it, the first heat we finished last, and then first, and then last. So I'm extremely confident that I will win now.
The action starts with each player receiving 2 cards face down from the dealer. The 2 players to the immediate left of the dealer post the blinds. They can call, or raise, or they can fold. Once this round of betting is over, the dealer reveals the flop. 3 community cards dealt in the middle of the table. More betting follows, then comes a 4th card, the turn card, and the 5th card, known as the river. Players must make the best 5-card poker hand using the 7 cards available.
Invited or been in here?
No, playing here.
Or played?
Yeah.
This is your first.
You know, when the Swedish captains were announced, Ken Leonard, not really considered one of the young superstars of Swedish poker. He's more of an old-timer. But in this format, he really is the class of the team, isn't he?
I would say so. He's certainly got the most experience and not short of confidence, Jesse. Big TV star now in Sweden.
He is.
Normally I raise with this one.
Yeah. Give respect, get respect. See? You Americans should...
We should learn from
Yeah.
y'all.
2 players.
Blind on blind, and Ken is holding court.
Check. Check.
See?
Julian has flopped the best hand here with the 2 4s, Barney.
Not anymore,
Bet
Jesse.
100.
That's a tickler.
Checking, eh? Better check me
I got a
cards.
flush. Yeah, I got a flush draw.
Flush draw. What have I got? Difficult. It's easier playing on the net.
Julian says it's the first time he's left home this year. He's been playing
You
on
don't
the
have
internet.
anything? Fold.
I do have something. Still fold.
Pass.
Middle pin straight draw.
Maybe.
Ken Leonard takes the pot. They have a bit of a chip and chatter. But Julian really one of the most experienced players in England, and he's got a lot of talent, Barney. Great reader of the game.
He's got an enormous amount of natural talent, and I'll tell you something, if he'd had that 2nd place in the World Series 1 year later, he'd be a huge star in the United States right now. But they'll be hearing from him, don't worry about that.
Julian, one of the best young players in the game, you know, finished 2nd in the World Series to Robert Varconi. Completely unfazed, he'll be totally relaxed. I expect him to play a great game.
Welcome back to the 888 Poker Nations Cup. Still in the first level, and Robert Williamson gazing through golden spectacles and a little limp in with the ace-8.
Raise to 250.
Leonard's not allowing any limping.
The second big pair Ken Leonard hit.
Pass. Call.
Call for Rory Liffey. Oh, he could get in trouble here, Barney. This could be fireworks.
I like the fact that he just called. There's been a limp and then a raise behind. Rory very, very cautious. He's treating them like deuces. That's the way to play. But if it comes a rag flop, it's going to cost him something.
And it has. That flop makes jacks look good.
Bet 400.
Difficult for Rory to get away without paying something here.
Raise 1200.
He wants to find out where he is here and now. He's not going to like the answer he gets.
This is where we get to see what both of these players are made of.
Well, Ken Leonard, he wants Rory to have almost the exact hand that he's got. Smaller pair and he could have a set. 2 pair, flush draw. He doesn't feel safe in this coup, but he fancies he's in front all right.
Could Liffey have played the hand the same way if he had 9s or 10s, Barney?
All in.
Oh!
Re-raise all in.
Well, very, very tough for Liffey now, but I think he's good enough to put this down. I don't think he thinks that Leonard's going to go all in on the draw this early in the tournament.
Liffey must be thinking that Ken Leonard knows that going out first would really put the Irish back into the middle. They want points to stay ahead.
That's a very, very good disciplined pass.
Liffey asked for information on the flop, Barney. Leonard gave it to him, and message received. Sweden takes the pot, but Ireland slips the noose.
Rory Liffey, well, it depends on which Rory Liffey turns up on the day. I mean, there's Rory, the great player, and Rory, the absolute muppet. I mean, and nobody knows what's going to happen on the day. But he's capable of playing really, really aggressively, and he's also capable of dropping the ball big time. So I think Rory's up for this one.
Y'all's next big trip back over the pond. You're coming for the championship event. Yeah, that's what I figured. Fold.
And the players beginning with 5,000 in chips. Those green chips, 25 each. The black chips worth 100, and the browns worth 500 apiece.
Pass.
Folded around to the small blind, and Specht trying to take some hiding out of the Dane.
2 players. Check.
Seen better flops for a 5 high.
100.
Edison wants to know if his 9s are good, and he's going to find out that they are.
Raise to 300.
Well, that's lovely.
Strong, strong play by Specht.
Patterson shows the 9. Specht would love to show one that beats him, but he can't. You know, we saw such lovely stuff from Katja Tada from Germany in the last heat. What a pleasant surprise she was, and couldn't Roland Specht be more of the same?
I'm in a good mood because we are not so much under pressure now because we made the second in the last heat, and I think if we come with average chips to the final, this is good enough for the start.
That's such an original format here. First time it's been tried, Barney. And whoever wins this tournament, that team is going to be able to say they are the champions. There was a limp in by Specht. Oh, he's got the kings. And Williamson's fallen for this.
Well, not surprising. Julian Gardner
Pass.
caught in the middle. He can't play this hand.
Call.
I suspect he's playing a move. We've seen this before in these tournaments.
2 players.
Limp and call a raise. And it's not
Check.
a bad one. Williamson's got to bet this. He's got to think his nines are good at the moment.
350.
Oh, this is lovely stuff. Germany could blow the USA out of the water right
Now,
here.
will Speck just call this? Try and get another bet out of Williamson. There is a 4 flush out there. He disguises his hand well by raising because the jack will probably just call. It's going to give Williamson a big problem, whatever he does, Jesse.
Call.
He has just called. 50 change, and we're going to see the turn. Are the alarm bells ringing in Robert Williamson's head?
Yes, they are, and that ace is going to slow them both down.
Check.
Could have been the saving of Williamson, but he's good enough to switch off anyway, and with a diamond as well, this could
Check.
get checked out.
Check.
It's amazing. There was a trapper, and then they both shut down.
I had Jack 9.
Kings will win it in the end. And Julian Gardner's chiming in. He would have had a flush.
Pass. Pass.
Robert Williamson, of course,
Pass.
very experienced poker player, but
Call.
he may not have played too many of these one-table six-seaters. They're a bit special, aren't they?
Well, I think if he sat down in a lot of 10-seaters, he would have ended up in a lot of 6-seaters, but...
Check.
This is the second pot in a row where it's just been
3 players.
limp wish-wash, and that might create a little bit of hello there, darling.
$150.
Well, it looks like a gut shot, but it's what they call a
Pass.
double belly buster, Barney. A deuce or a 6
Call.
would hit Julian very nicely both ways, making him
2
a straight
players.
on either end.
And now a backdoor flush draw picked up by Leonard, who had very, very little on the flop.
Ken's eyes sidling over sideways to
Check.
Julian Gardner, who
Check.
has now given the free card, which is taken. Ace high good.
Check.
Will Leonard have a stab at this? He knows he can't win unless he does.
He's never been one to leave
500.
money lying in the street.
Well, Julian switched off after being called on the flop.
Pass.
Would have been a great, great call.
It certainly would have.
I think he didn't have enough to follow through after he got called by Leonard. Almost a compulsory bet there.
These two very, very wary of each other. And the amazing thing, Barney, is that Ken Leonard, he just seems to have that attitude where he wants to not only win every pot, but he wants to win every pot and make it big at the same time.
Pass.
Blinds are
Pass.
out, folded around here to Ken Leonard.
Raise to 300.
Oh boy, he's picked up the aces again, Barney. At some point, he's going to get
Pass.
some big action.
Call.
Liffey only calling with the ace-king.
Wow.
I guess he thinks he's setting a trap. Speck getting the price as well. He's got any kind of a hand, which he does. Now sometimes when there's a raise and a call, some people re-raise with this kind of hand. He's too wily for that.
This is amazing. 3 pretty big hands out there.
Well, the fact that there's 3 of them in there could save people from getting
Check.
into trouble.
Check.
And they both completely missed, so Ken probably won't get any action
400.
here.
This is amazing. If Liffey gets off this, he could have been excused for losing, being out of the tournament here, Barney.
That's twice. Liffey has wriggled through the noose. They'll have to start calling him the wriggler. Give Julian a new name.
Amazing stuff. Ken Leonard looked set to take about 3,000 chips and put the knife through Ireland's heart.
He's been a captain now, and he's been really trying to talk to everyone in the team about specific plays and specific people in the opposing teams. As a player, he's proven himself over like 15 years or something like that, playing all over the world and winning a couple of big tournaments too.
Unknown territory. Sorry.
That's funny.
Everyone's still remaining. 6 players at this 888 Poker Nations Cup heat.
Raise to 600. Pass. Pass. Pass.
The raise was from Ken Leonard, who's tripled the bet his first hand of the level, and Peterson's giving him the long look with the ace-queen. Gosh, they're giving Ken Leonard a lot of respect, Barney. I mean, do they know how big his hands have been?
I was going to say I thought Pedersen would probably just have a look here.
He has. He's just flat called from the small blind, or from the big blind, excuse me. And he has outflopped the Swede.
Check.
Ken likely to represent a king high flop here.
Bet 750.
Pedersen could go any way here, Barney, couldn't
Well, I don't think he's putting this one down, Jesse. Yes. Good, strong play. He says, Leonard, you've been doing this too much, and he picked the perfect moment to do it. The first time, virtually, that Leonard's had no hand.
What a great read.
Excellent move.
I mean, he could have been drawn nearly dead. And Pedersen just seemed to know.
The heat is just for me. The final is for the team. You can't think about it when you're playing the heat. You have to just play your best in the situation. And if I'm sitting there thinking about that, I might not play as good as I could.
Might be mistaken, but I think in each of the 3 heats so far, the first player to reach 10,000 has gone on to win.
Raise to 525. Pass.
And the raise has come from Julian Gardner with the ace-5 suited.
Pass. Pass. Sorry. 4 cards exposed. Sorry.
Williamson, who's played a very cautious game, choosing to have a look of a hand which dominates Julian's hand.
1150 in the pot. Here's the flop and outdraw.
Check.
Up this goes. According to form, Williamson's not going to get out of line.
Tell you, if an ace comes, it would be no fun for the USA.
Well, he feels that Julian would have bet that flop if he had any of it. Won't be easy now for Julian, who flopped bottom pair. Williamson could have been trapping him on the flop. He's only really beating an out-and-out steal, which is exactly what this is.
The bet came out and Julian sat bolt upright, his antennas wriggling. Can he sense it? You know, it's the difference between great, world-class, and superhuman.
Well, he still hasn't put the chips in, Jesse. I don't think it's going to be an easy thing for him to do at all. I think Williamson has read this very well. Julian didn't have much or any of that flop.
I mean, we've seen all of Williamson's cards, and you said yourself, this is the first time he's gotten out of line all evening. There's no form for it. Do you think they've played before?
Well, I think it was that check on the flop, and very hard call for Julian to have made. Great play by Williamson, world class.
It really was, and Robert Williamson in a spot there, Barney, where he really needed chips for the USA, did not want to fall behind.
As a captain, he's very charismatic. He makes everybody feel good about himself. You know, even Greg, the online qualifier, even though this may be pretty intimidating for him, he's made him feel good. He's made him feel confident. I think we have really great team chemistry, and I think a big part of that is because of Robert. So definitely a good captain.
6 players at this 888 Poker Nations Cup heat.
Pass.
Germany on the button, folded around to Great Britain.
Pass.
And Rory Liffey from Ireland looks like he's going to have a go.
Raise to 1,100. Pass.
Jack high for Rory, and he says it's enough. Pedersen's giving him a look. How much have you got left, he says.
It's only two 500.
Wow, Pedersen with the ace-jack is very, very strong against him.
This is one of those marginal decisions that the great players always seem to make. The right
Raise
call
all
on, and
in.
he's gone all in. He's made it right. He sensed something. He felt it, Barney.
Well, it's not as if he doesn't have a hand, Jesse. He's got Liffey well covered. Well, certainly covered. But Liffey's put in quite a big proportion of his chips already. And he may feel that he's going to be too far behind if he doesn't gamble with his hand. He may think 2 live cards. That long, long dwell up by Pedersen might have enticed him to thinking he was up. But yet, that's a good, strong, disciplined pass. Third one we've seen him make today, Jesse.
You know, Barney, some eyebrows were raised when Rory Liffey was chosen for the Irish team. There's a very deep rank of Irish players, but Rory has done everything to justify the captain's selection.
Don't worry, I'm going to put about 50,000 more apiece and play for it. I don't mind.
There's 450 in the pot. GB
Right now?
on the button.
Not presently.
Pass. Pass. Pass.
And will Julian try and steal those blinds?
He won't need much, Jesse. He's found enough.
Raise to 800.
800,
All in.
ace-3, and Liffey's
Pass.
moved. It's not that big a race. He's got Julian dominated, but there are a lot of split pots out there, Barney.
That's right. Most of the time, this would be a split pot. Julian, of course, has the suited ace. Don't think Julian can pass.
Is it an automatic call for Julian? 1,000 would really wound him. Does he think he's dominated?
Well, he's hoping his ace is live, and that would be enough reason to call.
Got an all-in. Ireland all-in.
Have an all-in, and Liffey relieved to see the ace-5 is winning, but there's not that much in it, is there, Barney?
No, there's not. They'd both be delighted with a split pot at this stage. These two, the best of friends of world,